So the newest DPS is Gin, right? Everyone's had their fun with him, people are still working on him, and he is just coming across as a disgusting unit with the new strategic play of the whole DOT abnormal damage side of things. And obviously with Gin, it has really been elevated with his kit alone, hence why it is now being deemed as him being one of the better DPS characters. Obviously it does vary, because if you talk about it in a perspective to where, let's say, I don't know, you've got a full kit of Gin, no dupes, right, versus Toshiro, because unfortunately Ichigo has, I mean, Ichigo is still good, but in terms of with where the other boys are at, especially with the team comp and the rotation play that we've got going on, Ichigo is still high up there, but he's not, he's basically top 3, we'll say that, in terms of DPS, and he's 3rd, FYI. But if we're talking about Bear with 0 dupes in, then Gin would still have the upper hand in that aspect. If we're going fully investing, then it's only like a couple of 100k damage between him and Toshiro, if I'm being honest. I would say Toshiro would still be the slight better unit, but they are literally neck and neck for like top 1. So right now you guys are witnessing a maxed out Gin just completely decimating my boy Grimmjow, of course. Now, to look at Gin, I mean, it's going to be done in certain manners, because it really does come down to on the amount of investment that you have within this man. So like, again, just going off from my personal experience, I realistically should have just gone for the initial kit and be done with it. I really shouldn't gone a little bit more in terms of summons to get that second dupe. I should have just kind of gotten the first dupe and dipped out, because the reality is, because I've got my maxed out Toshiro, my Toshiro will still outperform, right? Now what's crazy, which I have to mention, I did a little bit of testing, right, when it comes to my Ichigo, right, because unfortunately Ichigo is low-key kind of 3rd place. Again, it really depends on where your Gin is, to be honest. I really need to specify that, because even though I've got 3 dupes in my Gin right now, my Ichigo is still 2nd best, right? Which is not as crazy, because my Gin is like 15-20 million just under Ichigo if I just do one rotation play, like having Aizen, not Byakuya for Ichigo, but both having Urahara and Aizen being the universal team, right? Yeah, so Gin, as he is right now, with my Gin being 43k power level, was at 150, over 150% on abnormal damage. Can't wait for Rangiku to release. She's going to be crazy for them. But yeah, he's only like 200-300 mil short, which is crazy to think. So that alone should say a lot. But again, yeah, coming back to the maxed out Gin, again, he's an absolute beast of a unit, and it really depends on where you've got your character. So obviously with me having a maxed out Toshiro, of course, maxed out Toshiro just slightly for me has been outperforming. But Gin is just, he's up there, especially with that DOT play. I'm very eager to see on how Rangiku will further support that, of course, because obviously at that given moment you would run Rangiku with Aizen along with Gin. I mean, then again, the full team would be complete with Tozen involved. But it might be in the same situation, in the same boat of how Toshiro came about, right? Because he came about, great, fantastic DPS unit, but he was kind of missing that push, and Aizen came about, and look how the tables have turned, right? So it could very well, I say it could be very well, of course it's going to be something, but I'm eager to see on what the final outcome will be for Rangiku's kit to truly understand on what furthermore we can push this Gin to in terms of the increase of the abnormal damage, because that is an absolute killer in such a good way. The DOT elevation that and the abnormal damage elevation that has been produced from this man alone through his kit is just, it is disgusting. So I'm eager to see on going forward, because Grimmjow can't be thrust at this point. It's just too much. They'll be stupid to release Gin now to where he's at right now, being one of the best of the best, to then Grimmjow coming along and just completely voiding him. He's going to be strike, just want to put that out there. But, and of course, with the comparison that's being made with Gin, of course, I mean, I guess it's not exactly crazy, but a lot of people are very content with just kind of getting the first 2 dupes. I will say, if you are looking to invest into Gin and you don't want to go overboard, you're not looking to really max him out, and you're happy and you're content with your Toshiro where he's at, the sweet spot for Gin is 2 dupes. So, just want to put that out there. If you've got 2 dupes, you're chilling. For example, actually, to be fair, even if you have 2 dupes in your Toshiro, you don't really need to. If anything, at that point, I would say just get the initial copy for Gin if you really want him at that point. I mean, Ikaku is still valid. I'm not going to take away his, you know, what he produced at the very beginning of the game. But as the game goes on, there's that power scaling. Things are shifting. You guys know the drill. So Ikaku has slightly fallen a little bit, of course, but he's still usable in that aspect. But if you haven't seen the video where I talk about the whole whether he's worth summoning, bigger things on the horizon. You guys already know the drill. So with all that being said, yeah, I do have to change up the tier list a tad bit. I do feel like we gotta kind of switch things up. So where do we shift things right now? So first things first, I am going to be dropping Ikaku down to A with the release of Gin. So that is where we're going to keep that. Komomura will stay the same. Momo, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm going to drop Uryu down to B, just to kind of keep him even Stevens, right? Especially with our Aizen's coming about. Because, I mean, technically speaking, this is more so of the overall SR battlefield skill user. Aizen and Urahara, they are two of the best units in the game right now in terms of overall team bases and support and battlefield skill users. They're kind of holding it down. Tozen's still valid, he's still solid. Byakuya, again, these boys are doing what they need to do for the red typing as well as the yellow typing. Yoruichi is still solid for strike. I'm curious to see on how she'll fare once Grimmjow releases. I still suspect that she should still be fairly decent. Her damage output isn't anything... well, the quickness kind of makes up for it, but we'll see when Grimmjow releases. I'm keeping Rukia where she's at right now because, again, she can be used more so on a universal basis, and yeah, her kit is still valid, to be fair. So I think for the most part, everything in terms of SRs are still staying the same. Just have to do a little bit. Actually, yeah, Byakuya will stay there. I think that's where I want to make the changes. So Gin will come in. So in terms of DPS, Toshiro will be first, Gin will be second, and then Ichigo will be last. That's high investment. If I had to do my personal look at it, it would be like this. Only because my Ichigo's maxed across the board. That's the only reason why. But if I wanted to kind of give it in the perspective of, let's say, they've got no dupes, or they've got half the dupes, or they're maxed out, it'll be this. It will be this. So I think that is where I'm going to leave my newest tier list. But 100% Gin is up there, being one of the best DPSs, of course. If you've got high investment on Toshiro, of course, then he's only like a foot behind. It's crazy. He's only like a foot behind. Now, even though I've spoken highly of Gin, and it really is from the strategy play that he has, that's built in within his kit, of course, there's still a part of me that's just like wanting to be like, look, don't get me wrong, Gin's cool and all. He's got things going for him, but with what's to come, especially with Chinese New Year in February, I feel like I myself, and hopefully you guys, kind of want to be more so prepared on what's to come then. Because realistically, what are we missing out now? Strike and Slash. They are the next two elements. Obviously, with some leaks and whatnot, it seems Grimmjow is going to be Strike. We'll see how that transformation fares, because any type of transformation that happens in the game, they tend to go above and beyond. And if Kenpachi or Ukiera truly is Chinese New Year, then we're going to be back to square one with another unit that is taking the game by storm.